Today, we're diving deep into the animal kingdom to bust some of the most popular myths out there. You might be surprised by how many things we think we know about animals are just plain wrong. So, get ready, because we're counting down the top 10 animal myths that are completely false. Kicking off our list at number 10 is the idea that bats are blind. You've probably heard the saying, blind as a bat, right? Well, it's a total lie. While bats are famous for their amazing ability to use echolocation to navigate and hunt in the dark, they absolutely can see. In fact, some larger fruit bats have excellent night vision, even better than ours. They use a combination of their sight and their sonar-like abilities, making them incredibly effective predators and navigators. So, next time you hear someone use that phrase, you can set them straight. Coming in at number 9, we have the myth that touching a baby bird will cause its mother to reject it. This is a really common one, and it's probably been told with the best of intentions to protect wildlife. But the truth is, most birds have a very poor sense of smell. The mother bird isn't going to detect your human scent on her chick. While it's always best to leave wildlife alone, if you find a baby bird that has fallen out of its nest, it's generally okay to gently place it back. The parents are far more concerned with the chick's presence and calls than with who might have touched it. Alright, myth number 8. Do porcupines shoot their quills? This one sounds like something out of a cartoon, and that's pretty much where it belongs. A porcupine can't actually launch its quills like little arrows. What really happens is that the quills are very loosely attached to their skin. When a predator gets too close and makes contact, the quills easily detach and get stuck in the unfortunate attacker. The quills have tiny, overlapping barbs that make them difficult and painful to remove, which is an excellent defense mechanism, but definitely not a projectile weapon. At number 7, we're tackling the myth that chameleons change color to blend in with their surroundings. While they are the masters of camouflage, that's not the primary reason for their color-shifting talent. Chameleons actually change their color to communicate, regulate their body temperature, and reflect their mood. A dark chameleon might be cold or feeling aggressive, while a brightly colored one might be trying to attract a mate. It's more like a living mood ring than a stealth suit. Their ability to match their background is more of a happy side effect of their incredible skin. At number 6 is the belief that ostriches bury their heads in the sand when they're scared. This is one of the most iconic but incorrect images in the animal world. Ostriches don't bury their heads to hide. What they're actually doing is digging nests for their eggs in the sand. From a distance, when an ostrich is turning its eggs or clearing out the nest with its beak, it can look like its head has disappeared into the ground. When faced with danger, their first instinct is to run on. They can run incredibly fast or to deliver a powerful kick. Hiding their head would be the last thing they'd do. Number 5 brings us to our 8-legged friends. The myth that you swallow an average of 8 spiders a year in your sleep. This is a huge relief, but it's completely false. Think about it from the spider's perspective. A sleeping human is a terrifying landscape of loud noises, vibrations from your heartbeat and breathing, and gusts of air. It's not an attractive place for a spider to explore. This fact was actually created in the early 90s as an experiment to show how easily misinformation can spread online. And clearly, the experiment was a huge success, because people are still repeating it today. So, you can sleep soundly tonight. Let's talk about lemmings. At number 4 is the myth that these little rodents commit mass suicide by jumping off cliffs. This dramatic and sad image was famously popularized by a 1958 Disney documentary called White Wilderness. The filmmakers, wanting to create a more exciting story, actually staged the scene. They herded the lemmings towards a cliff and forced them into the water. In reality, lemming populations go through boom and bust cycles. During a population boom, they migrate in large groups to find new food and territory. Sometimes, they might accidentally fall off a ledge or try to cross a body of water that is too wide. But it's an accident, not a deliberate act of self-destruction. At number 3, we have a myth about our canine companions, that a dog's mouth is cleaner than a human's. Many people believe this. Maybe because dogs are always licking their wounds and seem to be fine. But this is just not true. A dog's mouth is teeming with bacteria. While most of it is specific to dogs and harmless to them, it's not something you'd call clean. Both human and dog mouths contain hundreds of different types of bacteria. So while a friendly lick from your furry friend probably won't hurt you, it's definitely not a form of antiseptic. Our runner-up, at number 2, is the myth that sharks can smell a single drop of blood from a mile away. Sharks do have an incredible sense of smell. It's true, they can detect substances at a concentration of 1 part per 10 billion, which is like 1 drop in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. But a mile away in a massive, moving ocean, that's a huge exaggeration. The scent would be so diluted and dispersed by the currents that it would be impossible to track. Their sense of smell is still one of the best in the animal kingdom, but the 1 drop from a mile away claim is pure Hollywood hyperbole. And finally, The number one animal myth that is completely false: that bulls are enraged by the color red. This is the cornerstone of bullfighting. The matador waving his bright red cape, or muleta. But here's the secret. Bulls are colorblind to red. They can't distinguish between red and green. So, what makes them charge? It's the movement. The matador's quick, threatening flicks and waves of the cape are what trigger the bull's defensive and aggressive instincts. You could wave a white, blue, or purple cape with the same motion, and you'd get the exact same reaction. The red color is purely for the human audience. It's part of the tradition and spectacle, hiding the blood and adding to the drama. So there you have it. 10 animal myths, completely debunked. It just goes to show you can't believe everything you hear. Which of these myths did you believe? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content.